Foot race is on. Towards kitchen we go as Katani here snaking like Cell.
Absolutely dominate Battalion, as not only are they above in points, but the KD ratio.
Element, they have come to play in the grand finals because NOLA Flight, you are already cut off by Mirage. You have one more shot at this hill, but you are cut down by Teskey. Look at the snipes on a prop. He's not just Mirage with the sniper. Maybe we'll get something nice. There it is. Able to clip one. It's going to be 3 in the kill feed there, but there's Mirage.
The Amateur World League 2023 season is presented by Grilla, the new place to get great. Host tournaments for free, set up scrims, and earn more at Grilla.gg. The 2023 season is also brought to you by NYXP, your new gaming sanctuary. AWL players have access to discounted rates at the NYXP LAN Center in Kingston, New York. AWL stats are presented by LobbyUp. Connect with LobbyUp for esports tournament admining today. Now, it's time to continue with our Major 1 qualifiers.
Looking directly at him. See if he can do anything here. Chaco gonna pick up it on the Slaypex. Conwar grabbing Kalen. Conwar grabbing Mazo. Crazy grabbing AG. And that is gonna be a little bit of a team wipe. They've got B control. They expect Conwar to be up this close this quickly at all. He's in a fantastic position for this possible push from Slaypex, but of course you also got people in the window. Could be a nade coming through. Slay, low HP. What can Conwa do here? He's got AG watching him from the other side, but Conwa gonna pick up one, gonna get the second as well. Nade gonna be finishing off.
Get a take on Viva Glorious here this time. The one person you don't want to be facing, and he kills your bomb carrier as well. Another one to Crazy Views. Mid map is going to be AG, but can't seem to get the better of Crazy Views today, and so it's looking very likely with that. I think he stuck him. Yes, he did stick him for the win. And so Empyreal really hoping that Shaka will get scared and go for the check on him. And he will, but just at the literally perfect time and still wins the fight anyways. And Empyreal are going to remain undefeated at the end of the night.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Kinchi, and I'm joined here by Ashravok, and we are going to be your casters for tonight's matchup between NOLA Flight and Empyreal. First things to start off here, Ashravok, how are you doing?
I'm honestly doing great. I mean, I totally just didn't wake up about an hour ago because, you know, I've been up since 2 in the morning. I mean, hey, pulling all-nighters in college, don't do what I do and stay up trying to, like, churn out 3 different quizzes that were due 3 weeks ago. Not fun, but overall, I'm doing great, especially here on game day.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely have to agree with your Ashravok, but I mean, we got a big matchup ahead of us, man. NOLA Flight and Empyreal. I mean, these are honestly the 2 top teams here in the AWL, and honestly, I'm expecting a beast of a matchup here. I mean, both of these teams very renowned, have very renowned players in the challenger scene in them, and honestly, man, just kind of looking at the rosters we're seeing, it definitely looks to be a very competitive matchup, and I just honestly cannot wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these teams are almost tied up for first place, so whoever wins this match tonight is essentially going into first. It really depends, and starting off with NOLA Flight. A few key things to remember here. NOLA Flight is second in the standings, and they are trying to go for first place tonight by being able to beat Empyreal, which is definitely going to be a challenge. And they've only dropped a couple maps to Element, meaning that NOLA Flight, they've played some of our top-ranked teams here in Amateur World League, and they are absolutely our favorites. I mean, that is the 100% for sure. I know they're my favorite. If you look at the jerseys on their site, they're absolute fire. Color scheme overall, not too bad.
Of course, we got to look at Empyreal. Conwa coming fresh off of second place on a LAN. They are currently first on the standings. They are the top dog in this league and have absolutely been so far dominating, not have even lost a single map. And they have 3 wins against bottom 4 teams. So maybe that's kind of a question there, man. I mean, they haven't really gone up against the top talent here in the AWL. So who knows really if they could really compete against, you know, this significantly better team, man. So Empyreal gotta really prove if they really are the top dogs here. You know, obviously they went up against teams that are really not that good, and now they're gonna have to go up against someone that's honestly an absolute beast.
That is very true. When it comes to Conwa, one of our best players right now in AWL, I mean, on average, definitely has the same level of skill set as other players here, such as Kex and a few other people throughout AWL, and has proven to be an absolute menace. I mean, coming in second on a LAN event, not too bad, but still, second place is better than no place. And for Conwa, I have a feeling he is definitely going to be more of a villain here to NOLA Flight on these maps coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm expecting a lot of big plays coming in from Conwa, especially once we head into that search and destroy and we see him pull out that sniper. You know, absolutely that he is going to be frying. But anyways, here are the maps and modes that we are going to be seeing here in this series. Starting off with an Embassy Hardpoint, expecting a lot of great AR presence overall. I mean, again, these are 2 top teams, so I'm expecting it to be a pretty close matchup. Just overall, I'm expecting this to be a very chaotic map. And then we're heading over to Asilo, a very big map overall. You know, got 2 very large lanes covering both sides, and then you just got a pretty much a cluster in the middle that is that A side bomb. And honestly, man, it is you know, definitely I'm expecting a lot of great plays here in the search and destroy, and then we're heading back to Asilo for that control. Again, another map that I'm actually seeing a lot of people play. Usually most people would choose a hotel as their control map, but it does seem like now people are beginning to favor Asilo a lot more, which is very nice to see. But again, same points that I said about the search and destroy. A very large map overall. Got to, you know, really make sure that you're taking over and making sure that you have that map presence.
That is very true. I mean, what worries me a little bit about our first map being Embassy, right? It's a bit of an open map, however, there are a few key things to look out for. Not only do you have shorter sight lines here and there, but multiple flank routes, as well as buildings that make it a little hard for players to be able to navigate and safely traverse into. The one thing about NOLA Flight, that is exactly what they find in their favor when it comes to maps like Embassy and that. I have a feeling, I mean, with Empyreal having only played bottom teams, this might be their down point and a little bit of a weak spot for them. As with NOLA Flight, I mean, this map might prove to be a decider even into our first game overall.
Yeah, again, you got to start off hot here for both teams, and it's got to be, it's got to be a big opening performance overall, man. This is, obviously both teams, undefeated overall in the standings. NOLA Flight only really second place because, they just lost a few maps to Fort Worth Element, which, they're another very good team. So obviously, that kind of didn't really help them out. But Empyreal, they have, again, been pretty much flawless. They have not dropped the map whatsoever and have not dropped a series whatsoever. And so now we got to see. But like I said, they went up against bottom 4 teams, which means that the competition wasn't really there for them. I mean, we know Empyreal, these guys are definitely top players. So, now that they're going up against NOLA Flight, the question does come is, are they going to be able to compete under the pressure that is NOLA Flight? I mean, these guys are a top 32 challengers team, and, it's safe to say that they're nowhere near as, I guess you could say, as bad as the bottom 4 teams right now. So, again, it's going to be a very interesting challenge for Empyreal, and honestly, man, it's going to just generally be an interesting watch overall.
I mean, that is very true. I feel as if when it comes to this match, I feel like best describing NOLA Flight versus Empyreal, I mean, put Empyreal in the shoes of maybe some fresh COD players, I mean, at the precipice of being able to hit COD League. And then you have NOLA Flight, who is almost top echelon, same level, say, as Rocker or even Atlanta FaZe when it comes to COD League. And it might be a fairly imbalanced match that we are going to be seeing tonight. And that's what has me a little worried, right? We keep saying this over and over again, that Empyreal has gone against bottom 4 teams, but I feel as if that's what really matters to look into here, because now that they're going against a top tier team to try and get in the first place, NOLA Flight is going to be doing everything in their power to be able to deny that. I mean, they're thirsting for this as well, so it's going to be an issue. I mean, Empyreal, they have Conwa, they have some cards stacked in their favor, but when it comes to NOLA Flight in terms of maps, in terms of picks, that's also stacked in their favor. So this could go both ways, or it can go one way in favor of one.
I 100% agree with you there. But anyways, yeah, we do have a competitive match, but let's take a look at the open qualifier promo video that we have here and just kind of take a look at what we're going to be seeing.
He's going to pick up one.
We'll see. But if you're Savage, because of that, you get pushed out. You sacrifice that ace side.
Blacksmith Kex proving why he is the one with a triple kill.
All right, that was a very interesting a couple of videos there, but man, again, we're just come back to the series. We're still waiting for players to come back, head in, set up in the lobby, and hopefully we get this map one underway. But speaking of maps, let's head back in. I wasn't able to really get through all the maps, so obviously once we head over to map 4, Hydro Hardpoint. If we get there, Hydro, a map that you really rarely ever see in any series. I think not a lot of people are fans of this map, so it being in the map pool is very interesting to say the least. So I generally, you know, hopefully we get to see that being played through, see what these teams have to offer. And then obviously map 5, we're going to be seeing that Fortress Search and Destroy. Very close gunfights, very fast-paced rounds overall, and I think that's just going to come down to who's able to outpace who in that map 5.
I mean, that's very true, but if it's one thing you notice here, Kimchi, it's that Greenberg Hotel is nowhere on these maps and modes. I mean,
yes.
Which is a first for me in casting, like, in these past couple of weeks, is that we usually see a lot of hotel after hotel following either Embassy or El Asilo, but in this case, it's just nowhere to be found. Instead, like, placed in its favor are Hydro and Fortress. Another interesting thing, too, rather than Fortress being a map that these teams wanted to head first into, it's placed all the way last, meaning that if we do head into a deadlock match point situation, they would be playing it on S&D, and that would be our decider. However, with maps like Embassy and El Asilo being our first up, that should make for a pretty interesting match tonight. I mean, it's not what we usually see, and you can see the vetoes that people definitely did not want to play Mercado Las Almas and Hotel, so honestly, this is a first for me.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking to see Hotel not be on the map pool anymore, but here we go, man. We're going to be starting off here with this Embassy map 1. Like I said, like we had talked about, this is a, this has got to be a fiery start between, for both teams here. Otherwise, you're going to be, left in the dust. Again, both teams very, very up in the standings right now. You literally got the first place and second place team going up against each other. So we really got to see who's going to be able to do so, man. Empyreal, obviously, have not lost a map, have not lost a series. They're looking to keep that going. They're looking to keep on looking undefeated, but they're going to have to deal with a very tough challenger, that being NOLA Flight.
Absolutely, and one thing to remember, we're not even in the finals, and this is absolutely going to be exciting. I mean, if anything, this is one of our very rare matches where it's almost Super Bowl level of absolute, like, possible catastrophe for one team, but absolute victory for the other. And in terms for both teams, this is like second place going against second place, NFC versus AFC, if you will, and we are going to get a match, an absolute panopticon of pain, suffering, but possible fun and carnage for either of them. You never know.
You never know, indeed, man. I mean, Call of Duty in general, a very unpredictable esport. You always think that one team is going to take it all, but then next thing you know, they end up getting smoked. So I don't know who's going to be able to take it here, but we'll have to see. Empyreal, they're starting off in the good spawns, getting on that time. Conwa is going to be the one to try and see if he can catch anyone lacking. He is going to be able to find Skater there. So far, looking good for Empyreal. They're getting some great starting time here. P1, not really much of a hill to grab a lot of time. It's more so just a contest hill. You grab some time and mainly focus on just making sure you have those P2 spawns and, that P2 setup going. But it does seem like Empyreal, they're getting their nades, they're making sure that they're getting the kills, but again, it is just they're going to be focusing heavily on making sure that P2 is secured.
Yeah, absolutely. NOLA Flight here managing to take away this hard point from Empyreal. I mean, Empyreal and NOLA Flight are in a bit of a deadlock situation once again where nobody has this point. Correction! It went straight to Empyreal. They do manage to get these points, but at the same time, Skater up here does manage to get the pick, and that will be more kills going over in favor of NOLA Flight, but at the same time, Empyreal is absolutely running away from this, I should say. Sorry, my caster brain is getting a little mixed up here in terms of points, but NOLA Flight does manage to put themselves back on, and that kill feed, as you can tell, it's lighting up purple and orange, but more purple in favor of NOLA Flight right now, looking hot and absolutely ready to clean things up.
So far, looking good for NOLA Flight. Here you do see Shoxy 6-1. He is starting off very nice, and he's looking to be a very tough player to beat here for the side of Empyreal, as they're going to be able to hold down this P2 side fairly well. And but it does seem like Empyreal, they do have that P3 rotation. It's going to be pretty big there. They may not be able to grab a lot of time here on P2, but it's going to be very big here if they're able to hold down P3 for as long as they can. But you see Nick K, he's trying to see if he can catch anyone in the back. You do see that one player there from NOLA Flight trying to stay alive. It's going to be Skater. Could definitely be a humongous nuisance here as long as he stays alive. Could definitely do a lot of work. He's going to be able to find Nick Hate just like that. kill him off. That's a pretty big kill right there. And now it's going to be all left up to Jamal to try and hold down this P3. He's the last man standing for Empyreal to try and make sure that they get this P3 done. He finds one. Can he get the second? Trying to find him. Not trying to get the nade down. Gonna be able to get it done. Not gonna be able to find the third, however. Gets traded out. Prof makes his way onto the point.
I mean, you can tell right now NOLA Flight is doing everything in their power to target two players in particular. I mean, two with the highest KDs right now. It's Choco and it's Conwa, because NOLA Flight knows that even Conwa could be the biggest threat to them being able to win this, and Empyreal do manage to catch up here on the hard point with a couple points, putting themselves at 40, but at the same time, NOLA Flight are looking to charge in here, especially coming in the double kill from Shoxy, and that should be another one, a grenade kill going out in favor of NOLA Flight as well, and Aiden already with a 9-7, and Shoxy with a 9-3 KD, making this a heavily contested hardpoint, but with only 6 seconds left. I mean, what's the point of holding it? I mean, for NOLA Flight, they could always move on to the next one, but at this point, they are absolutely thirsting for kills, and with the new one coming up, they're going to try and deny everything from Empyreal right now, coming in with another kill. That's a wall bang going out, and this is getting spicy. 48 seconds left on the clock for Empyreal to try and get in here, but it's looking fruitless, and it's looking more and more hopeful every second for NOLA Flight.
And man, NOLA Flight, they have an incredibly strong setup here on this P3, not allowing Empyreal to get any sort of contest going on whatsoever. Maybe that's going to change here as they try to push through the stairwell, but Prof, this man is on fire, looking to find that cruise missile. I don't know what the hell that Chow was going to be, gonna get killed off just like that. Prof finds a cruise missile in his back pocket, and it just seems like NOLA Flight, they practically get the full 60 here. Empyreal in a bit of a pickle right now as they're just absolutely getting slayed out. Aiden with a nice kill onto whoever that was, and he's gonna be able to keep it going. Gonna get killed off by Nick Haight. NOLA Flight with a very big lead here, almost about to put Empyreal in the 100-point club. Unless Empyreal responds here on this P4, definitely gonna be a huge hill to try and regain here, man. But so far, paying attention to the KDs, Choco 5-11, and Nick Haight 6-11. They are not doing so well, man. They gotta try and step things up if they want to help their team get a little bit of a at least destroy the lead that NOLA Flight has here, man. But it's definitely got to be stepping up in the slaying department for them, and overall, just I think for the entire team, because everyone on the side of Empyreal is negative. Well, besides Jamal right now.
I mean, absolutely. Empyreal do manage to catch up in terms of points, but they're going to have to do a lot more if they want to make the 100-point club. I mean, less than 15 seconds left. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, as NOLA Flight, they have everything covered, whether it be stairs, whether it be stairwells, whether it be hallways, and they're just giving Empyreal an absolute nightmare for their lives right now, even denying the kill streaks. You can tell Jamal, unfortunately, will lose that, and despite a clean KD of 11-10 right now, no cruise missiles to come out into play just yet, as NOLA Flight once again will be retaking Hardpoint Courtyard. That's a double going out to Jamal and Nick Haight before both are going to be ended immediately by NOLA Flight, but coming in on the back lines, I mean, Empyreal with this absolute flank route, absolutely beautiful in favor of them, and they do manage to retake, but at what cost, as Shoxy is going to deny as many chances as possible here.
The map control on the side of NOLA Flight is just unbreakable. They're just able to basically get such a large portion of the map locked down and not allow Empyreal to get anything done whatsoever. And you're just seeing that right now, man. Shoxy able to find a nice kill on mid, but gets traded out by Choco. Prof trying to pick up the trade. Choco does not allow that. Gonna find the kill instead. And so far, man, Empyreal, they're trying to fight their way back into this second set of rotations. They were able to find a lot of great overall points on the P1, but now we're heading towards P2, and so far it looks like it's gonna be in the side of Empyreal, but we gotta find the kills. Not gonna be able to happen. That's gonna be 3 down for the side of Empyreal. Conwa, the last one remaining here on this team. Everyone's still respawning. He's gonna get killed off. NOLA Flight with a very quick break on the hill, and they're just absolutely dominating right now. AR presence on the side of NOLA Flight is completely out of this world, and Prof still has that cruise missile in his back pocket. It's just, again, not looking good for Empyreal.
Man, absolutely. Right now, NOLA Flight, they're giving Empyreal, especially Conwa, an absolute run for their money right now. No matter what they do, no matter where they try to go, it's like NOLA Flight is right behind them, ready to murk them. I mean, as you can tell, the kill feed is lighting up. Purple Prof managing to get that double kill before Nick Hate does manage to take out one person coming in from NOLA Flight. Shoxy and Aiden do go out momentarily, as well as Prof. The hard point is looking empty, and despite the fact that Empyreal could be able to get on here, never mind, Skater on a killing spree. A 5 and NOLA Flight looking to absolutely embarrass Empyreal, making sure to say, sit down, it's our time, we're the ones standing up, you're not gonna have a fun time, this is our map, y'all need to go home before we just mop the floor with you. And Empyreal, they do answer in kind, but at the same time, NOLA Flight looking absolutely dominant here on this hard point, and Empyreal do manage to cross the 100 mark line, but at what cost and how long can they keep it up for is the important question.
Yeah, Empyreal, they're practically going to have to be playing perfect Call of Duty from here on out. Cannot allow NOLA Flight to get any more time just like this. This is a very big 22 seconds going towards NOLA Flight. May not be able to win the game, but you're going to be very close to it. Empyreal, they're going to have to try and do something good. Jamal, going to find a two-piece. Aiden pulls out the knife right there. Maybe not the best choice of weaponry, but either way, NOLA Flight still picking up the remainder of the scrap time. Empyreal, they're going to have to bunker down on this P4 if they want to be able to just hold it down, because otherwise this might be it for them. This has got to be a very big hold overall, but here comes a push coming in from NOLA Flight. Chaco with a team kill with the trophy system, I believe. That's very unfortunate. The break-in comes from NOLA Flight, however. 10 more seconds remaining. No, Empyreal gonna have to race over towards the point to make it, but it's just not gonna happen. Aiden picks up 3 before getting taken down. NOLA Flight with a dominating Map 1 performance.
My god, it is Fat Tuesday. NOLA Flight absolutely turned this into their own little personal Mardi Gras parade float. I mean, they were handing out beads and they were handing out bullets equally, and in favor of them as well, gave Empyreal an absolute run for their money, ran them towards the hills, turned them into Pine Sol, and cleaned the map up with them in just this first match alone. And this does have me a little concerned for how this is going to go for Empyreal in these next couple of games as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Empyreal, you know, they have literally not lost a single map in their run, and they just did right now, man. NOLA Flight being the ones to do that kind of goes to show, and not just take a map, they dominated the map. You know, they were not allowing Empyreal to get anything done and just killing them off before they could get streaks, rotating early, getting the points, having very strong setups. I mean, NOLA Flight getting it done, man. They are really just giving Empyreal a run for their money right now. And so far, it is looking fairly scary, but I mean, we still have a El Asilo Search and Destroy to go through to see if maybe Empyreal can try and bounce back onto that. You know, they had been going up against, lesser teams, so maybe they just had realized the competition that they're now going up against and are probably going to try and regain and, you know, try and change up the strategy here.
Man, absolutely. That's what had me worried in the beginning. It's like I said, when it comes to NOLA Flight, when it comes to maps, say like Embassy or hell, even El Asilo, a lot of those maps really go into their favor because that's what they're used to. It's close quarters and close sight lines that enables them to get those flank points and rotations off to a T. And in this first map, they did it beautifully. And when it comes to El Asilo, I mean, sure, Empyreal can bring out the snipers, they can bring out long range, but when it comes to close range, they are going to get caught off guard. And if this happens like a repeat performance of the last game we just watched, I mean, we could be seeing a 3-0 sweep happening right before our eyes.
Possibly, man. I mean, this is definitely, you know, again, this is not looking good for Empyreal. You see the standings here, folks. Empyreal, you know, they're the ones, they're supposed to be the #1 players, and they just did not look like it in that map 1. They really did not. NOLA Flight, again, giving them a run for their money. They're the only, they're one of the 3 teams that are still, you know, that still have not lost a series, and I think that is definitely going to change here in this series right now. Because NOLA Flight, you know, they're looking for blood and they're definitely getting it. Empyreal, however, you know, maybe they can change things up, you know, Search and Destroy being that slower pace mode, obviously, you know, maybe that's going to help them, you know, kind of regain here, maybe focus up, kind of, you know, help them get back to, I guess, their full step. But I mean, they're definitely going to have to be dealing with NOLA Flight's overall AR presence, man. I mean, again, with a map as big as El Cielo, you know, that AR presence is going to play a very big factor. And honestly, man, what we saw there, the ARs on the side of NOLA Flight, they were absolutely ravaging Empyreal right now. It was just not even close. The ARs on the side of Empyreal, you know, they couldn't do much, man. They really couldn't. The presence NOLA Flight had on that map was insane. And honestly, who knows if they could do the same thing here on this Asilo.
Man, absolutely. They were cold, calculated, and when it comes to players like Conwa here, yet again, came second place off of a LAN, and the points here, I mean, brought to you by Lobby Up, by the way, we cannot thank them enough. With these stats, I mean, it's not looking good, but at the same time, I mean, Conwa isn't exactly doing his best against NOLA Flight. I mean, that last game, sure, the KD was high, but for players on NOLA Flight, especially like Shoxy, the KD was much more higher, and with an 85.4 overall, I mean, you do have other players, say like Kexrat, who might be above a little more, and that's what has me a little worried right now for Empyreal.
Yeah, man, I mean, Conwa, he tried his best in that map one. You could tell him and Jamal, they really tried to put in the effort, but it was just simply put it, they were getting outslayed. They were just not able to really put in as much of a performance as they're capable of here, because they just, you know, they were just being nullified here by NOLA Flight. I mean, it was just honestly a overall dominant map one, and like I said, man, this map two has got to be, you know, it's got to be a game changer here, man. You cannot, you know, you cannot go into a control 2-0 against NOLA Flight, because otherwise it might just be it right then and here.
Honestly, I don't know if what you did like there was intentional, like nullified. Oh, puns, the light of my life, but at the same time, the bane of my existence. As we move on here to El Asilo, which, yet again, we could be witnessing a 3-0 blowout, or we could be witnessing Empyreal maybe being on the up and up, being able to make that comeback and see if they can try and salvage what was that last game and what remains of it as well.
Yeah, they're gonna need to definitely regain here. They're definitely gonna need to try and just continue to perform as good as they are. NOLA Flight, they are looking very good. Imperial, however, gotta figure out what's going on. Gotta figure out what's the change here, because you know, at this point, man, you know, it's gotta be some pitch perfect plays, because NOLA Flight, again, they're just looking so fantastic on the map. You know, maybe we see some sniper action. Maybe that's gonna change things up. Maybe, you know, the snipes from Conwa can, you know, be as spicy as they were in that last series that he did, where he like basically dominated the entirety of that search and destroy with the sniper. Hopefully we get to see that Conwa, because that's kind of what they need right now, man. Because oof, man, that map one, I gotta continue talking about it. It was just not a great performance.
I mean, true, but at the same time, though, it was only the first game. Empyreal have every opportunity, every chance in the book to be able to make a comeback and see if they can try and win this here on El Asilo with S&D. And here we go, already getting off to a good start. Empyreal on the attacking side, NOLA on defending. I mean, with A site looking a little busy, B site might be the push, it might not be, as already we are getting a big fatal sniper shot coming in from NOLA, meaning that Empyreal will be without Jamma, and this is going to be pretty interesting as Conwa holding the bomb, and it looks like we are indeed getting an A-site plant here.
Alright, they gotta get the bomb down. They're looking to have the site in control. It's just 3v4 right now. Might make it that a 3v3 as Nick Hate able to find Aiden right there. At least evens the odds. Bomb's gonna get planted down. Now all Imperial need to do is just sit in a corner and just hold this bomb site down. Nick Hate trying to find the kill onto Prof. Not gonna be able to find it because it's gonna get killed off just like that. But here comes Shoxy trying to see if he can find some players. That's 2 down for the side of Imperial. It's Prof, last one remaining. It's going to be a 1v1 between him and Choco here, but he's on the defuse. Choco, you gotta check the bomb, man. You gotta hop on it. Prof, able to escape, trying to get the shots onto him, but it's going to be Choco who takes the 1v1. Imperial starting off hot with this first round.
My god, even in Call of Duty, I mean, Empyreal almost, actually, they did avoid what could have been a very bad and a very nasty C9 situation, if you will, which at this point, it transcends even Overwatch. It can happen in any video game, and in this case, Empyreal do manage to save themselves, putting themselves up by 1 point, but for how long will this last? I mean, at this point, you've just pretty much poked the sleeping bear that is NOLA Flight, and you might be in for a little bit of trouble if you're not able to run away in time.
Yeah, gotta be able to, continue that performance, and you gotta be able to keep playing the way that you are. Imperial, again, starting off hot, gotta make sure you keep that heat going. And although NOLA Flight, they're not going to be focusing on the A side here. They're going to be entirely focusing on B, and it looks like they're going to basically have full control. Jamal with the sniper this time. Going to see if he can try and maybe get it done here. Conwa finding the first pick onto Prof. So far, so good, but bomb is planted down. NOLA Flight, all they really need to do is make sure that Imperial doesn't reach the bomb. But Conwa finds another one. He's going around. He's finding kills with this SMG. Aiden, however, he gets Nick Hate. Looking good. So far, looking good for Imperial, but Shoxy able to find Conwa. 2v2 now. Shoxy and Aiden, Choco and Jamal, they gotta try and kill each other off. Jamal trying to get the pistol shots in. He gets Aiden. Shoxy 1v2 now. Can he get it done? 16 seconds remain on the clock. Can he find it? Can he get it going? He's running around, playing Ring Around the Rosie with Jamal, and he's gonna be able to get it. NOLA Flight tie things up with another equally amazing round for themselves.
Honestly, forget the bear analogy I just made. NOLA Flight let's find something more appropriate. They've turned into a bull, and Imperial, they've just jumped the fence, and they absolutely ignored the sign that says, hey, there's a raging bovine in here. You can run this entire field in like 15 seconds. The bull can do it in 5. That is exactly what we are seeing here. And Imperial, I mean, in those last couple of seconds, you could definitely tell that Conwa and Choco were definitely managing to put up numbers, but NOLA Flight responded in kind, gave them a run for their money, putting themselves in tie territory, and this should get pretty interesting. Skater already with first blood, and Dead Silence coming out in favor of Imperial, but already turning this into a 4v2 situation. Here I was about to say 4v3, and already that just happened as Nick Hate, Conwa, and Jamal will be out as well. Shoxy on the killing spree, and it looks like Choco will be the last one left alive to try and clean this up as best as possible, but Shoxy on the hunt will unfortunately be found out by Choco, putting us into 3v1 territory. This could very well turn into 3v none if Prof manages to find this, and he does indeed. NOLA Flight putting themselves up by one more point, giving us a 2-1 lead.
An absolutely clean round from NOLA Flight. Shoxy comes in, finds 3, and then Prof cleans up the last one. I mean, honestly, just the best round that you can ask for here to start off on the Search and Destroy. Now we're heading over towards round 4, and NOLA Flight, even though they may have messed up on that first round, they're looking to continue to fry, and it's just, again, Imperial, they cannot let this slip away from them, man. They gotta make sure that NOLA Flight does not win too many rounds. Otherwise, you're just gonna put yourself into a harder and harder position to come back from. But it looks like it is going to be another A push for the side of NOLA Flight to try and get this bomb down. NOLA Flight to get this bomb down. See how it's going to look. Choco trying to find the shots. Yeah, it's Shoxy able to find the plant onto the A side. Maybe. No, Choco just not allowing him. Maybe they're fighting. Yeah, there we go. Shoxy finds a plant onto the A-bomb. Now it's all about playing the defense.
Man, honestly, you're talking about frying here, and knowing NOLA Flight, New Orleans, I really want beignets right now, knowing damn well I can't afford them. They're too expensive, I don't have the materials to make them, and if I want to get the materials, also, I can't afford that. Inflation is like a mother right now, it's not fun. But besides that, NOLA Flight already off to a pretty hot start. I mean, Shoxy and Conwa both are going to be down and out, meaning that both teams are going to be without their top fraggers right now, and this is looking like to even the odds, but already NOLA Flight coming in with the fast fry and grill and kill, coming in with 2 points ahead, giving them a 3-1 lead right now over Imperial here on S&D, and that is absolutely some bad manners knifing coming out from NOLA Flight.
Oh my god, That is honestly very unfortunate. NOLA Flight just kind of showing that they do not have any respect for Imperial. They may be the top team, but NOLA Flight, they know that does not mean anything. NOLA Flight just absolutely another clean round coming in from them. Again, growing that lead much more. It does seem like Imperial gonna try and head over towards the B side, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. The kills are coming in. Choco gets taken down immediately to 2v4 now for Imperial. B side push not working out.
Oh my god!
Jamal with a snipe of his own. I mean, oh my god. I mean, the snipes are just on the side of NOLA Flight right now because Skater is on fire.
My god, they're just absolutely getting grilled right now. Empyreal themselves have turned into some French Creoles, man, cooking, and this is just, it's getting nasty. It's getting dangerous. Empyreal, I said they had every chance in the book to be able to make a comeback. It's still possible, but NOLA Flight is just taking that away further and further from them, essentially dangling candy above a baby and saying, yeah, you want this? Well, it's not yours. I'm gonna eat it in front of you. You're not gonna like it, but hey, we're still gonna take the W anyways. And NOLA Flight proving absolutely why they are a dangerous team to mess with. And Empyreal right now is not exactly looking so hot in terms of playability and being able to get the movement off, but NOLA Flight capitalizing on that with the AR kills and not even giving them a shred of mercy here as we switch sides on El Asilo.
No mercy indeed, NOLA Flight. They just want to get this over with, man. You can tell it in the way that they're playing. They just want to get this search and destroy over with, bring it over to that control, and maybe just get that 3-0 sweep. But Empyreal, you know, I can definitely tell they have fight in them. Let's see if they can be able to make a comeback here. 1v4 now. Jamal, nice snipe to start things off. My God, Aiden gets taken down. There goes one of the big players there, but it looks like it is going to be that A push. NOLA Flight to get it done. But there goes another player. Prof gets taken down. 2v4 now. Empyreal, they have a really good chance at taking this. They just got to make sure they play it right. Conwa taken down. 2v3 scenario here for NOLA Flight. It's going to be a very, very big moment here. Shoxy been running around the map like it's his own. Can he do it again? Trying to find the shots. The defuse is coming in from Nick Hay. They have to hop on it. They got to make sure that they get him up. Skater finds two. Oh my God, Choco. Last one remaining. 1v1 here.
Oh no.
And just like that, they bring it up to a match point and a 2v4, man. You cannot let that happen.
My God, I mean, Empyreal being able to fend off those bottom 4 teams might have been luck, as NOLA Flight absolutely siphoning every single bit of that away from them, putting that in their favor, managing to take up everything that they have worked for and dump it out of the ground right in front of them. I mean, they're not even letting them pick up the pieces that's scattered all over the place. NOLA Flight at 5-1. This is the last round before they might be able to take this, or we could see Empyreal manage to get a little bit of the luck of the Irish back. You never know, as Shoxy already coming in with first blood. I might have misspoken. The caster curse is very much real, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. This is getting very scary for Empyreal as they're doing everything to fend off NOLA Flight, which I have a feeling they're going to come through, busting those doors down. It's a situation from The Shining, as Empyreal, they've been found, they've been spotted, they're doing everything they can to get an A-site rotation here, but at what cost is right now? I mean, sure, NOLA Flight may have lost Aiden, but at the same time, Empyreal, they've also lost Shoxy, and this is not exactly looking good. We might see a bit of a turnaround, but Kimchi, man, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little scared. I'm a little concerned. I am very, 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 very frightened for the absolute possibilities that could come in from here, and this is giving me the chills.
I cannot agree with you anymore, man. Empyreal, they gotta get this bomb down. Less than 30 seconds remain. They have the lead, however, 3v2, so let's hope that they do not choke this again. You already see Skater. He's holding it down. He finds one. Almost gets the second.
Oh my God.
Nick's gonna find the trade. Prof, 1v2 now. Can he do it? Can he get these 2 kills to end this search and destroy? We'll have to see about that. Both players are just setting up on the bomb side. Not bad. Setup here, but they gotta make sure that they're watching the corner. Able to sneak in. He finds one. He's able to sneak out just like that. Jamal in the 1v1. Can he get it done? Empyreal, stay alive for one more.
It's one more game, but for how long can they stay alive? For how long? That's the important question. Kimchi, I'm biting my nails, my teeth, my gums, they bleeding out. I'm a little scared, man. I'm gonna need my safety blanket.
Oh man, I mean, this is this is definitely a very competitive, very scary, nail-biting matchup here. Empyreal gonna have to fight tooth and nail if they want to get out of this pit that they're in. NOLA Flight making sure that they stay in it. They're on the attacking side now. You see Jamal back at it again with a sniper. But this time, Aiden not going to peek it out this time. Not going to give him the satisfaction of finding that kill. It is going to be Shoxy to try and maybe chow it out. Nick Haight, though, knows what's going on. It is another A-plant, but you see Conwa coming in from the back. Can he get it done? No, Skater with the pistol shot. doesn't check his corners properly. Choco gets found out. Nick, Hayden, Jamal, 2v4 scenario here. Can they get it done? No, they cannot. It's going to be all left up to Jamal in the 1v4 with the sniper. He finds 1v3 now. Bomb going to get planted down. It is going to be a very tough situation here for Jamal.
Oh my god, and then there were none as NOLA Flight absolutely managing to take this, getting us out of match point. And if I remember correctly, if I remember my maps correctly, yes, this is the first of 6 rounds, meaning that NOLA Flight put themselves up by 2-0, and the Saints came marching in. Indeed, the AR shots coming in, especially from Shoxy with the Vaznev 9K. This is absolutely proving to be one of the most exciting, one of the best games I have ever had the opportunity to cast and witness here in the Major 1 qualifiers.
I mean, NOLA Flight, I mean, they're just putting Empyreal in the dirt right now. They are not letting them get anything done, and it's just 2 dominant map performances back to back. I mean, and we're heading back to a Asilo for that control, man. I mean, if Empyreal's performance is the same as it was on that Search and Destroy, that's going to be that 3-0 sweep, man. They got to answer back here or now. It is just not, you know, you can no longer be making any more mistakes. You know, there's no more to fall back on. And it is just not, again, it's just not looking good.
Man, absolutely. I mean, NOLA Flight giving Empyreal an absolute run for their money right now, each and every map, and we've only gone into 2 games. We are going to be returning to Asilo and NOLA Flight. They are absolutely proving themselves to be the top dog in this case. I mean, it's absolutely dangerous. Dealing with them is like absolutely trying to go against an unstoppable force, an immovable object, if you will. Or I should say, an immovable Mardi Gras parade float. You just can't get by them no matter how many times you honk at them in the middle of the street, whether it be on the avenue or hell, even on the highway. It just doesn't work out.
You know, Colin, he's still fresh from that second place in the land. Just, it does not seem like that's really helping them out. They're first in the standings, but maybe that's not going to be for long because they are just not having it. They have 3 wins against the bottom 4 teams, but I mean, this is, again, a top team here. This is not a bottom 4 team. NOLA Flight just absolutely putting Empyreal in the dirt and just not letting them out. And it's now heading up to this control. Can NOLA Flight get that 3-0 sweep onto Empyreal and prove to be the true top dogs of this league? Or Empyreal going to win this map and start preparing for that reverse sweep?
Man, absolutely. Empyreal, they have every opportunity. I keep saying it over and over again, but I want it to be true. I want it to be somewhat true. As Empyreal, they have the potential, they have the power to be able to put themselves up by a couple of points and maybe take us all the way into S&D on Fortress. But with each performance that NOLA Flight has been putting up in these past couple of games, that possibility is getting lower and lower and lower to a point where it's gone from, like, say, a whole cheese wheel, right? If y'all imagine with me real quick, to a very, very tiny sliver of cheese, not even worthy for hell, even Jerry Mouse to even try and snack on. It's just not worth it. It's not delicious in the end, and it's not really going to work out for anybody. I mean, who wants to eat that small of a block of cheese? But besides that, right now, NOLA Flight are proving to be a powerhouse of a team, but at the same time, Empyreal also proving themselves to be able to come back in those past couple of rounds over on S&D, so we might see a bit of a flip in terms of who is going to be able to win this next map.
Yeah, Empyreal definitely have that fighting spirit inside of them, but we need to see it come out a lot more here. Again, this is it, man. NOLA Flight, they can close it out right here, and again with control, it's we're padding back to Asilo. They did not, Empyreal did not have that great of a performance. Search and Destroy. Hopefully, maybe that changes things up here, you know, with a respawn. But I mean, again, NOLA Flight, they are just absolutely, you know, they're just absolutely clearing things out, and they're just on fire. They've been on fire throughout this entire series. Empyreal got to figure out how to cool them down and make sure that they can at least stay alive for just a little bit longer.
Man, absolutely. And yet again, I mean, we're returning to El Asilo. You saw how powerful that NOLA Flight was on that map. They managed to utilize those long sight lines, managing to use those hills, the stairwells, to do everything in their power to deny Empyreal any rotation, any win whatsoever, and they really suffered for it. I mean, no matter how much movement that Empyreal had, no matter how much power they had over some of these sites, especially over on A and B near the shed, it really just didn't work out in their favor. However, there were a few cases in which players like Conwa and Choco did manage to pull themselves out of a 1v4 situation and flip it on its head and manage to net them those much needed points.
Yeah, you know, like I said, Empyreal, they definitely have that fiery spirit, and they could definitely get it done here, but we'll have to see if, you know, they're able to do it here as we're starting off on this control. NOLA Flight gonna try and maybe push over towards the A side, but there's gonna be a couple of kills coming in from the side of NOLA Flight to really secure this A side. The push is still coming in. Empyreal trying to defend it as best as they can, but it's just not getting happening. Prof able to find that kill onto Jamal, and the progress on the A side is zooming right now. They are literally just taking this, taking control of this, and you know, just running away with it. Now it's going to be all up to that B side. Empyreal going to have a very strong defense now, because yeah, it's again NOLA Flight just absolutely clearing through the map.
I mean, absolutely, but at the same time, NOLA Flight, they're getting downed and out almost immediately. Empyreal do manage to put up numbers. At the same time, NOLA Flight, they managed to clear out A site so fast and so incredibly clean that Empyreal barely had a chance to respond in kind, and already the kills are going out from both NOLA Flight and Empyreal, turning this kill feed into a mixture of purple and orange right now, and it's getting hairy, it's getting dangerous for either team. However, when it comes to Jamal, does manage to get the double kill before being taken out himself almost instantly here on El Asilo.
Yeah, and Empyreal, they're definitely looking a lot better here, man, but you could obviously tell that NOLA Flight slowly pushing them out, making sure that they get as far back into their spawn as they possibly can. The stack is going to come in. You do see that player over there, that being Choco, all the way on the other side of the map, making sure that he can try and find some kills, and that's absolutely what's happening. Jamal with a two-piece to shut down that push just for now. A minute and 27 left on the clock. No, Empyreal, they have a long way to go before they could really call this round their own, but they're so far looking very strong. The map positioning, you know, they got to utilize the men down on the side of NOLA Flight to really make sure that they have as much map control as possible. But NOLA Flight looking to try and regain here. They just got to try and make sure they find the kill, but Choco not letting it happen!
Oh my god!
He's going to be able to find two just like that, so easy. And now he's already one away from getting that cruise missile in his back pocket. And with a map like Asilo, where a lot of it is majority, you know, majority in the open, you know, this is it's gonna be definitely a huge thing for Choco to have one.
I mean, absolutely, but NOLA Flight, yet again, they're still on B point. That Empyreal will have a little bit of trouble trying to get that, but at the same time, they're netting kills, and this control, it looks like it's going over in Empyreal's favor. Never mind, as NOLA Flight will come in and try and clean that up, but at the sacrifice of Prof and Skater as well. I mean, with 23 seconds left on this clock, they need to be doing everything in their power to try and clean this up. The dive coming in, Choco will be down and out, melted down into the ground as well. Same goes for Jamal, and this is looking more and more in NOLA Flight's favor. I mean, B site right now is looking particularly empty. It's up for anybody's grabs, but at the same time, NOLA Flight, they're back on the capture point. They're managing to snuff Empyreal out wherever they go. Zone B is looking to be crowded in just a second. Hell, it's about to turn into one big old party if NOLA Flight manages to net this, and it looks like they will, as Empyreal coming in with the charge, but I think it's too little too late. Zone B looking contested, and never mind, as Empyreal will be able to win this and avoid a bit of another upset coming in from NOLA Flight.
Yeah, no, that looks pretty scary there, man. I'm not gonna lie, NOLA Flight, they were down on lives, they didn't even have respawns remaining, and they were making progress on that B side, and almost seemed like they were actually gonna be able to, like, get it. And right in front of Empyreal's eyes too. I mean, that would have been very, very bad. But no, Empyreal going to be able to close that out and get that first round in the control. And, you know, this is the regain that, you know, definitely is needed here for Empyreal to make sure that they at least, you know, head into this series and not get 3-0 swept. They want to make sure that this is a competitive series. And they also want to make sure that, again, that even though they may not have that map record, you know, undefeated anymore, they might want to try and, you know, keep that undefeated series streak going. But they're going to have to, again, fight tooth and nail against NOLA Flight if they want to be able to get that done, and NOLA Flight just not letting it happen. Like I was talking about earlier, the AR presence from the side of NOLA Flight just too strong. Their ARs are just haven't beaming throughout this entire series, and it just again is now looking to stop. You see Aiden able to find one, able to find two. Holy! This is what I was talking about, man. Aiden just absolutely frying. Jamal trying to make his way onto the patio to find some kills in the back spawn of NOLA Flight, but it's just not happening because NOLA Flight are absolutely frying right now.
Man, NOLA Flight is putting the pressure on Empyreal right now. And listen, as much as I don't want to say this, as clean as they are playing right now, I think we might need to check some PCs for Word.exe in his household. Stop the game. I'm joking, of course. It's all fun and games here on LSCLO, but not exactly for Empyreal, as they are getting rocked left and right. NOLA Flight managing to take the fight to them. Conwa, Jamal, and Nick hate taken out off the bat immediately. NOLA Flight do manage to get those picks coming off, and that's another one coming in with Choco being the very unfortunate recipient of the other end of that gun, and Aiden already on a killing spree of ×5, and NOLA Flight will manage to take this round and possibly put us into comeback territory for them and not exactly for Empyreal here.
I mean, NOLA Flight with a very strong defensive round, a way to answer back against Empyreal. You definitely could see that happen in that first round where, you know, even though they were down on lives, NOLA Flight was still able to, you know, get a lot of ticks off of that B side. But, yeah, so far, you know, still, they're looking strong. You see Aiden on that 5 spree looking to get that cruise missile. And, again, with what I was talking about with LSCLO being a map that's mostly out in the open, it's, you know, that cruise missile can do a lot of damage here. But we'll have to see if he's even able to get it here. It's going to be a big 1v1 here between Aiden and the Empyreal player. But no, Choco able to find him, gets him off of his streak. A humongous kill from Choco right there. And this is definitely a good way to start out the defensive round, no longer having to worry about any players on streaks anymore. But it's going to have to be now the take on the B side coming in from NOLA Flight as they're going to try and get this done and dusted. Empyreal got to answer back, or they may just want to set up and bunker down on the A side. Looks like they're just doing that. They're just going to have to make sure that they don't allow NOLA Flight to push deep into their spawn and get that control, and just that's going to have to be what it is. But look at this. The pause is going to happen. Oh, but never mind. NOLA Flight able to capture the B side. Jamal with a nice 2-piece, but it was a little bit too late there. Lives still looking a little bit even here, but never mind. Conwa going to be able to find one. Able to find 3. Jesus Christ. The featured player of this series hasn't really been doing a lot, but man, he is waking up right now, and so is the entirety of the Empyreal roster. Again, Nick Hay finding 2. He is absolutely frying right now, and Empyreal, they are waking up.
Man, waking up indeed. I mean, Empyreal, you saw those last couple of kill streaks. They're gearing up for some kill streaks of their own, but NOLA Flight responding in kind. I mean, Skater does go down and out, but not before Conwa as well will go out. And Zone A is looking to get captured, but Jamal on the absolute killing spree of a lifetime right now. Empyreal is looking to try and clean this up as best as possible. As A site, it's looking to go in their favor. They're getting the defense off, but NOLA Flight, they're going to be coming in. They're going to be coming in hot, and for Empyreal, this is not going to be a good situation whatsoever. I mean, the kill feed, you can tell, is going to be lighting up purple in a second here, but the same thing going for the orange. Prof and Skater will be found and will get picked off by the vultures that are Empyreal.
I mean, it has just been an absolutely different looking team. Empyreal, they have absolutely found all the kills. Jamal finds 2. He gets that cruise missile. 22 and 8 from Jamal. This guy has been frying right now, and he is looking to keep it going. Can he break 10 on the streak right now? He getting the shots. No, he cannot do so. Unfortunate, but hey, man, still got that cruise missile, still looking good. Empyreal responding back with a very strong defensive round of their own. And again, NOLA Flight, got to make sure that you just keep it, you know, you gotta make sure you try and keep it close. NOLA Flight gonna need to figure out what they want to do here as Empyreal. They have literally full control over this A side. 15 seconds remain on the clock. I'm sorry, yeah, now 15 seconds remain on the clock. NOLA Flight, they do not have any more respawns.
Oh no.
It is just, you know, it is just looking dicey for them.
Man, it's down to the wire, but NOLA Flight proving exactly why they don't need respawns. Zone A is getting captured out immediately. This could be another win coming in for NOLA Flight, and they actually managed to take it. Imperial, they were too little too late. They did everything in their power to try and get on that site. I mean, you could tell Conwa on this final kill feed, you know he's pissed. You know he wanted to do everything to try and get there, maybe save his team some more trouble and more pain of having to deal with the absolutely stacked roster that is NOLA Flight, but it did not happen in the end, meaning we are going into 2-1, possibly full sweep territory.
Oh my, I mean, Empyreal, they kind of let that, go, man. They really just let NOLA Flight take it right there. This is the problem with a lot of, with a lot of control maps, man, is that once you feel like, you're comfortable, you feel like you're going to win the round, then the team comes in and just absolutely takes over the point. You cannot let your guard down anytime in control, and that's exactly what we just saw with Empyreal. They let their guard down, and they allowed NOLA Flight to stack onto the point and capture that A side, man. It is just honestly unfortunate, and NOLA Flight back on the defense, man, and now they're in basically their home territory. They're going to be able to basically hold down all of these points, and all they really need to do is make sure they're winning their gunfights, and that's pretty much going to be the series for them. And we already saw how good they were on the defense originally, so if they could just continue that performance one more time, this could practically be over right now. Still, kills are coming in. Prof able to find one in the back, a very big kill. Can he find a second? Yes, he can. One more player remaining on the side of Empyreal, that being Nick Haight, to try and maybe stay alive here for a little bit. Less than 30 seconds remaining on the clock, however. Imperial, they gotta get something done.
I mean, absolutely. It was really sad to see what happened in those last couple of seconds. I mean, Imperial did want to get that zone, but as much as I hate saying this, and it's very unfortunate in very, very unfortunate circumstances, I'm gonna say it. That was 100% a C9 moment coming in yet again. I believe this is our second one of this game today in NOLA Flight. They know they're playing into the mental of Imperial, and they're getting into their heads right now to a point where you can see Imperial, they're staggering, fumbling all over the place. I mean, it's like they got hit with the absolute worst Stone Cold Stunner of all Stone Cold Stunners, and NOLA Flight is doing everything in their power to capitalize on this. And Imperial, sure, they may have made progress here at B, but NOLA Flight, especially coming in from our top fraggers being Prof and Skater, are going to come in here all hands on deck and make sure that this does not happen for Imperial.
Imperial only have about 1.2 seconds remaining on the clock. Oh, no. They have to hop on the time. They cannot let anything go on. 0.0 seconds. Oh no! What happened there? NOLA Flight. They're gonna be able to take the control 3-1 and take the series 3-0. Oh man, what happened there? I thought the contest was still there. I guess he just nudged out of the point just
oh my god,
and left it. And oh, that is actually so sad. Just back-to-back rounds kind of just taken away from you there, man. I mean, just an unfortunate circumstance for Imperial, but I mean, NOLA Flight just able to do it all.
My god, NOLA Flight, they are doing everything right now. They are the Swiss Army knife that this team has needed right now. And by the way, I can see in chat, when it comes to that Stone Cold Stunner, look it up. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the absolute legend, Texas Rattlesnake, if you will. And I really feel as if NOLA Flight absolutely embodied the personality that he has, gave Imperial a run for their money, knocked them out immediately, and I can tell you right now, that is the bottom line of this game, and exactly what she wrote, as NOLA Flight will manage to take this into a 3-0 blowout.
I mean, yeah, NOLA Flight, obviously, looking to come in here and try and just take over the top dogs of this league, and they have proven to do that. And as a matter of fact, we have the entirety of the NOLA Flight squad here for an interview right now. How are you guys doing, man?
Pretty good.
Chilling.
Feeling it.
Man, obviously, congratulations on your victory there against Imperial, but just a few questions I just want to ask. First of all, obviously, heading into this series, you knew, Imperial was pretty much undefeated. Did you have any, did you feel maybe a little bit nervous going into it, or were you just full-on confident?
I mean, a little nervous, and I realized they don't shoot back. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's foul. Y'all are actually wild for that one. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, we've played Conwa and them on a few different occasions, no matter what team he's playing on, but we always have a good match with them, and it transpired into this, and we just
also
got lucky and came out on top. Yeah, and yeah.
I mean, you guys just absolutely dominated throughout that entire series. I mean, Empyreal, they had a bit of a fight during that control, but I mean, let's be honest, man, those last 2 rounds, they kind of threw the ball there with the control. But either way, man, you guys just played absolutely stellar overall. I guess I gotta say, maybe after that map 1, did you guys, I guess that's kind of where you, when you guys realized that this wasn't as tough competition that you had thought, or was it maybe later on in the series?
No, I don't think we wrote them off after map 1. I mean, we know, we're pretty strong at Embassy, and it's one of our stronger hardpoints, I guess you could say. We didn't write them off after map 1 for sure. We're definitely taking it in all seriousness going into map 2, and yeah, I mean, we not writing Conway off. I don't think you can.
Absolutely. Astrovok, do you have any questions for the NOLA flight team?
Yeah, I gotta ask, can one of y'all send me some beignets real quick if you can afford the shipping? I'd really appreciate it. Nice performance, but still, I'm really hungry, y'all.
We'll get down to Cafe Du Monde right away.
Alright, I appreciate it. Thank you. But also, serious question, what was your guys' strategy going into that next map, especially having after, the 2-0 sweep that you guys just put them through, those first couple of games?
Just playing how we practice. Basically it. Not really a strategy to it.
Play together.
Kind of adapted to them. How they were playing how they were holding A point. I think 3rd round. I think I pinched. And I got we team shot the guy's radio, and then we just collapsed and broke their setup. Just capped A, quad stacked it. That's about it.
Yeah, after that round 1, I saw someone in the chat saying, no pressure, wipe it off. But in my opinion, pressure makes diamonds. So I mean, I think we came to prove it.
That is smart.
Yeah, that is incredibly wise. So, I don't really have any more questions for you guys. Astrovok, do you?
No, I'm good. But honestly, great performance, guys. That was absolutely stellar coming from y'all. It was beautiful. That's all I gotta say to it.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, very beautiful performance overall, and honestly, cannot wait to see what you guys have in store for the remainder of the qualifiers. You guys absolutely, you're definitely now the top dogs of this league. That's for sure, man. That is absolutely a fact, and I bet you're gonna have a lot of teams trying to gun after you, huh?
Oh yeah, you always got a target on your back when you're on top.
Oh, you betcha.
Oh man. Alright, well, I guess that's going to be it for the interview. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Again, GG's, you played absolutely wonderful, and good luck in your next couple of matches.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. God speaks for itself.
Yo, NOLA fight is very saucy today. Y'all can tell. It's crazy. They getting a little spicy with it.
I mean, they should be, They definitely... they definitely deserve to be after that, after that series. But again, what I said, man. They definitely, they're definitely a team to beat. They're definitely going to be a a team to look at heading into this major. And like I said, man, honestly, we could be seeing the possible champions of this major. I'm just saying, early predictions already. But man, NOLA Flight, they're just absolutely looking unstoppable.
I mean, that is very true, and it proves that, when it comes to New Orleans, you got a lot of top talent, besides Mardi Gras performance, that come out of that absolute, I don't want to say nightmare, but New Orleans can get a little hectic, we all know when it comes to Mardi Gras, when it comes to Tuesday, when it comes to anything, and NOLA Flight proving right now and in this moment why they are the top team to watch out for. So yes, I'm putting this out as a little warning to anyone, whether it be in open qualifiers or whether it be in the qualifiers right now, NOLA is the one to watch out for. Be very, very, very afraid if they ever come up on your radar, and Lord have mercy on you if you ever run into them, whether it be in public or whether it be here on AWL.
Yeah, man, they're definitely, they're definitely looking good, and they're definitely looking very good heading into this major. Obviously, Empyreal, you guys tried, you tried to keep your, win streak going, but obviously everything has to come to an end. Even though obviously you didn't really perform that well against NOLA Flight, it's just about, regaining, getting better, improving on what the things you messed up on. And honestly, man, that's just the entire part about, just getting better and becoming that, good player that you possibly can be. So hopefully when we do see Empyreal again, they're looking a lot better. And, we can have, maybe whenever they meet up against NOLA Flight again, we could see a even more competitive bout between these two teams, because I think that could definitely happen. And honestly, I would love to see that.
I mean, it's very true. I mean, if anything, this is the one game that gave Empyreal the information they needed to be able to walk it off, come back against this team maybe later sometime in the future, and be able to provide them with a much needed experience in some humility, and prove like, hey, maybe going against bottom 4 teams and then NOLA Flight was not such a good idea. But here we are anyways. But moving on, I mean, you can see with the format for 5 weeks of league qualifiers, especially when it comes to this, we do have 4 open qualifier tournaments below. So if you are a team interested in that, please be sure to check it out, and you might have the opportunity to fight against other teams, whether it be Acrylic, whether it be Mist, or hell, even NOLA Flight. And when it comes to formatting, there are 12 league teams, 4 open, and a $1,000 prize pool to watch out for as well if you do manage to net that top place.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, there's definitely going to be a lot of competition heading into this major, so, again, I cannot wait to see what is up. But make sure you guys stick around, because obviously, this is not the last match of the night. We will be seeing a matchup between Acrylic and Savage Nation in just a couple of more minutes. Honestly, another matchup that may be very, very competitive looking one. Hopefully more competitive than this series. But either way, man, it does seem like that is going to be it for our time here. And AWL, I'm Kimchi. I'm joined here by Ashervok. And honestly, man, I hope you all have an amazing night. Catch you guys later.
He's gonna pick up one.
We'll see. But if you're Savage, because of that, you get pushed out. You sacrifice that ace side.
Blacksmith Kex proving why he is the one with a triple kill.
The Amateur World League 2023 season is presented by Grilla, the new place to get great. Host tournaments for free, set up scrims, and earn more at Grilla.gg. The 2023 season is also brought to you by NYXP, your new gaming sanctuary. AWL players have access to discounted rates at the NYXP LAN Center in Kingston, New York. AWL stats are presented by LobbyUp. Connect with LobbyUp for esports tournament admining today. Now, it's time to continue with our Major 1 qualifiers.
Wake the fuck up! It's too late, brother! It is fucking too late! It's fucking too late!
For Acrylic here, 55-5, and yeah, Pierre's just watching that doorway. Jazz should be able to find one with the sniper.
Nothing but a galore of smoke and stun grenades going off, and Top Gobbler spotted in the distance with that sniper. They've allowed themselves to give up these hard points there. Fortunately for Mist, it is stopped dead in their tracks, and that wasn't just a pinch, that was a full-on crush.
7 points away from the victory. 5-4. Is a Mist gonna hop on? It's up to Prod. He gets dropped, and that's gonna do it. We're gonna hold on. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Major 1 qualifiers hosted by Grilla. I am Golden, joined here by my good friend Graf the Giraffe. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Golden. I think we have an incredible matchup coming your way as we have the Acrylic going up against the Savage Nation. I know you are very familiar with the side of Acrylic, and this is just going to be an incredible matchup that we have. I think this is going to be a very close series, but I guess what can you tell us what is to come in this series, and what do you like about Acrylic in the side of Savage Nation?
Well, honestly, I like that the Savage Nation had a new roster change come in recently, obviously, with Rep and that squad. And right now they are cooking. They just cooked Team Mist 3-1 in their last showdown, and Acrylic coming off of a loss, but overall 2-1 record for them as well. So 2 solid teams here. Savage Nation heating up and Acrylic bouncing back from that loss. Should be a fun one. Let's run this down into our little sizzle reel here. Acrylic can join the top 4 of this league with the win here today. That will be absolutely huge for their seeding, obviously, in the major. And then, obviously, they're looking for the regain after their close 3-2 loss position that did go into a round 10. And obviously, now, if they get this W, they are looking to secure that top contender status.
Yeah, and then going over to the side of Savage Nation, like you said, they're off a hot 3-1 against Mist, so they're looking to keep that going. And are they finally going to be able to get that stable roster? Like you said, they made a change, and we're excited to see what's going to be happening. And then looking to get the win-loss map up, so they're looking to get a quick 3-0 against Acrylic. I don't think that will happen to be the case, but either way, I just think it's going to be a good one. And let's actually talk about the maps coming up right now, as we will have that Fortress Hardpoint, Mercado S&D, Fortress Control, and then if we end up going to the Map 4 and Map 5, we'll be staying on the Breenberg Hotel. Hopefully everybody's got their reservations ready, locked, and loaded for it. But coming in and talking about this Map 1 Fortress, I guess what are the keys to victory for the side of Acrylic to be able to take this one?
Well, obviously, you have to look towards their star players here. Jest, although not the best on hardpoint, is going to be a big player going into this one. You look for every single member of this roster to come off hot, but, you know, that map 1 could be a pretty close one, but once it gets to that map 2, I think that's where it could be potentially taken over there. Obviously, Jest having a 103 rating. And yeah, here we go, loading into Alvagra Fortress.
Yeah, let's kick this one off. I know everybody's been waiting for this series, and we are finally here. Acrylic versus Savage Nation. We'll see who is going to be one of those top contenders in the AWL. But right now, from what I've seen in Acrylic, they have a phenomenal respawn roster. And like you said, hey, you're excited about that search and destroy. And if you're on Savage Nation, do you think you're looking at your new player on the roster to be able to step this one up and maybe catapult them to the next level?
You know, potentially, obviously, this was pretty much this actually was an entire roster reset, which could be huge. Just and Sovereign getting those opening kills. Sovereign is filling in for DMAC there, but they also did quickly get dropped themselves. So right now, lives, obviously no life count here, but no momentum really either way. First, second did go towards Savage Nation, but nothing really going either side. Looks like this P1 is going to be a hard-fought one, and it honestly might just start going down to, hey, who gets on this rotation the fastest onto this P2.
Yeah, and I want to point out a player on the side of Savage Nation, Rep. He's absolutely incredible. I've had the pleasure of casting him a few times, and he's pulling out the AR right now, but I would say he's kind of more considered a flex, but unfortunately he will get gunned, and he's just a guy to look out for in this series. I expect him to potentially be able to take over that search and destroy, but Savage, they don't have that initial rotation. It looks like Acrylic, they will be set up in a very solid spot. Puris, he will be the guy to try to lock down this first wave of attacks, or at least try to take down one and get untraded as he's finding a few shots, but Glory, what a shot onto Jasset as he will eventually go down. Puris still finds himself in the top spot, but Savage Nation, they do end up breaking through the front.
Yeah, and just quickly on the topic of Puris, he is 7-1 here to start on a 5 streak right now, so 1 away from that cruise missile. He does sadly get dropped there by Big Head, but Sovereign does pick up that trade. Time still going in the way of Acrylic here. But these first 2 points have been very closely contested, going either way. And Glory hopping on that one, getting the kill on Sovereign there, I want to say. And now that time probably going all the way over to Savage Nation. Acrylic looking for the next rotation again.
Yeah, and I don't think Savage Nation is too upset about that one because they didn't have that initial one. They end up splitting it around 25 to 25 and 10 seconds going to the clock, but it was Puris on that rotation. Unfortunately, when you are dealing with crazy views at the front of the hill, he will get that early break, and honestly, they did not have this rotation, but I just think a few key gunfights ended up going the way for Savage Nation. Crazy Views doing a phenomenal job just breaking through the front of the hill, and I believe one of his players, I think it was Big Head, who found the second player in Acrylic on that backside spawn, but so far so good for the side of Savage Nation as they do have those close spawns. They should be able to wrap up this last 20.
Yeah, absolutely. Those spawns obviously coming in clutch, and you can already look at the bottom of that screen on that mini-map. It looks like Acrylic is just focusing on this rotation, going onto this P4, just trying to get set up early and get as much time as fast as possible. Though Crazy does take down Sovereign. Sovereign, 9 and 7 right now. Crazy is getting tagged up quite a bit. That 1 or 2 shots should put him in, and he does get dropped there. And I think I thought the player got traded out, but I don't think so. That's 4 down on the side of Savage Nation. Acrylic on this P4, having the early hold. Now, just got to make sure you don't get it broken.
Yeah, I was a little concerned, but Puris ends up getting 2 as they try to bunny hop their way through the front of the gallery. Unfortunately, they were gazing a little bit too much at the pictures, but that will be the side of Acrylic holding it down for these first 25. I was a little concerned at the beginning of that rotation because they were a tiny bit bunched up, and usually when that happens, the other team is usually allowed to get a few players off of that rotation and fight for a few of this, but the last 20 seconds, once again, Savage, they've been winning those final 20 seconds, and they really add up. It's been the past 3 hills they've been earning it, so you're just going to have to keep an eye on that if Acrylic will be able to hold a hill for a full 60 and just find themselves right back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be absolutely crucial. They do need to get that full hold there, or at least, you know, just prevent Savage Nation from getting those last 20 seconds. I will say that's something that I have noticed with Acrylic. They kind of rotate just a little bit too early for my liking, leaving that a little bit open, especially once they get slayed out. They don't try retaking that, especially within those last couple of seconds there. But yeah, so the kills going in Savage Nation's way. Glory currently on a 4 streak, looking good, starting off 11 and 9 here. And it looks like Savage Nation should be hitting the 100-point count here. Yes, they do. Taking about 45-point lead over the side of Acrylic, and that is absolutely huge. 35-point, my apologies. Ugh.
And Acrylic, you're just kind of looking at one of the players right now having a little bit of a slow start. That's Esco sitting at 6 and 14, so hopefully he can find his footing here on the Blacksmith Hill as they will finally lock down the last 15. It's going to push it after that first set, roughly around 30 to 25 points. But I want to point out, Acrylic, they had that rotation again, then they immediately got broken. So something maybe fundamentally wrong with their setups, not feeling as comfortable where they are positioned on the map. But like you said, this new roster in Savage Nation, they know exactly what they want to do. And I think right now it is Rep and Big Head leading the charge, 15-11, make it 16-15 for Mr. Big Head.
Yeah, Mr. Big Head just coming up huge. 4th streak right now, 16-15, as you said, and that is absolutely massive. Now, I will say, on the side of Acrylic, some of their... Also, Big Head just hit that streak. I just want to point that out. But on the side of Acrylic, Sovereign is filling in as a last-minute... not last-minute, but as a substitute here for one of their starters in DMAC that could be potentially playing in effect here. But Sovereign is viewed as one of the top U18 talents, like, just around the community. So, truthfully, you're expecting him to step up, which is what he has done. Currently 15-15, basically playing pickup here, and he is looking good. These last 10 seconds look to be going Acrylic's way, but again, now Savage Nation, the first one's on the rotation, and that is going to be absolutely huge. 3 down there on the side of Acrylic, and Savage should get these first 10 to 15 seconds likely uncontested, which is going to be absolutely massive for them.
Yeah, and I like what the side of Savage Nation is doing on comparison to Acrylic. They're really starting to push out that front line of defense on the map, making sure it's just not one big wave collapsing at once. But as I say that, they do end up getting broken. That's behind Jazz as he's 13-20. And then Purees, he's sitting at 21-10. 4 kills in a row. So already, Acrylic, if they can find that one member in Esco who still hasn't gotten off the 6th kill, he needs to find something here. And he only has 27 seconds, a hard point time. You're really taking a look at that player. If he decides to step it up, this could really be a turnaround for Acrylic as they find themselves down by roughly 60 points.
Yeah, it really is just that one missing link pretty much. Once that player turns on the Jets, this could be a nice turnaround for the side of Acrylic, but right now, no one's really on this next rotation, so it's all about who's going to get there first. It looks like Savage Nation, while the kills are also going there. Pierce dropping in that cruise missile, did not get a kill there, but does get some nice reads. But Big Head dropping in his own, could potentially find some, obviously, wide open point. And at least the comms will be coming through there. And he does find Jast with that about 90-point lead coming up here shortly for the side of Savage Nation. And this lead just keeps growing further and further apart.
Yeah, I'm already going to call it. I think Savage Nation has this one in the bag ever since they've started rotating. Since the second set of these hills, it's been nothing but smooth sailing for them. I don't think Acrylic has gotten more than around 15-20 points in the past 3 hills, so they are looking stellar. And Acrylic, they are set up once again for this P4. They rotated a tiny bit early. Now you only have one member left. It's Sovereign, though, the player you were highlighting. Maybe one of the best young talents we have seen in a long time, especially at that AR position, as he's looking to find one more, but the kills come through, and it is Big Head, as he will end up finding 2, and that should be the break. Savage Nation, all they really need to do is find one clean set of kills, and it's going to be difficult to break on into this Cannon's Hill.
Yeah, this Cannon's Hill just not being broken, really. Acrylic haven't really been able to jump on this one. Savage Nation just having that hold and refusing to let go. Basically like a boa constrictor. They are just refusing to loosen up at all, and they're just constricting their opponent into that, like, just soft, gentle sleep pretty much. And man, it has been brutal here for the side of Acrylic on this map 1. And obviously not going to be closed out here on this hill, but I expect it to be closed out on the next one. Got a very tough map 1. You got to look for that rebound on the map 2, especially from key guys like Jest and Escobar.
Yeah, Nesco, he finally decides to get a few kills. Still hasn't broken that double-digit marker, but like you said, this one's basically done and dusted. You only need 2 seconds, and it's going to be almost difficult to win this one out. It would have to be picture-perfect Call of Duty, and I do mean it to the purest of its forms. But Sovereign, he's holding on in, trying to find one more, and honestly, if you're Acrylic, you're just kind of thinking about that next map, which will be that Mercado S&D. But, oh, maybe Sovereign trying to make a few plays. Acrylic just trying to hold on. But Savage Nation, like you said, they just haven't loosened their grip at all. And once they get one more clean set, find one player into the hill, this one should all be but over.
Yeah, pretty much. But oh my god, the kill's still coming through for Acrylic, just holding them off just a bit. But that should do it right here, and it will. Savage Nation taking that map 1 in what was a dominant fashion, 250 to 137 over Acrylic. And I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that for that roster. Just the dominance showing there, and gotta look ahead to that map 2 and have a lot of hope. But also, Acrylic, you know, SND is your mode. You gotta be looking for the turnaround there.
Yeah, and you were just taking a look at that stat line, too. I think all the players from the side of Savage Nation were positive and, I mean, pretty well healthy as looking pretty good in that kill department. On the side, it was just like we said, it was that Escobar having maybe a little bit of a slow start. If he maybe finds, you know, 5 more kills in that map, it could have made a difference. But either way, that's not here nor there. Savage, they will take that map 1 in a pretty dominating fashion. But like you said, Acrylic, they are an S&D type team. Who are you looking for to, you know, be in those comms and say, hey, how do we bounce back here in this map 2?
Well, you know, I gotta look towards the captain here pretty much, which is Jest, obviously SND being his mode, where he has been an absolute star, obviously. He is our player to watch with a 103 rating. Average rate is a 50, so he is well above average. One of the best SND players in the entire league. And obviously these stats provided by our sponsor here at Labia, but man, just an absolutely star player on that type of mode, and you gotta look for him to be the guy that leads this turnaround and says, hey, look, we gotta get right. Esco, I need you to step it up here, man. I gotta be better. Piers, Sovereign, y'all played great. If we can keep this rolling and we can turn this around, we got this shit. But, you know, you gotta be looking for that turnaround, and it's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely right, and Jest also flexing on him at the gym there, so trying to work on the S&D and in real life. But for the side of Savage Nation, the player that I'm really looking forward to see is Big Head, as he was finding some really incredible routes, honestly, and I think it was started off on that P4 as he took down 2 members in the back on the second set of rotations, and honestly, that was the name of the game for Savage. They started off a tiny bit slow. I think they were just kind of getting for a feel of how Acrylic played, but once they were able to lock in a hill, Acrylic wasn't able to break it, and it just allowed that lead to just keep rolling downhill. So Savage, they're trying to keep this one up with the new roster, and I think Big Head's going to be the guy you're going to be looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very possible. Both of these squads do seem to be very solid on this SND, but I'm going to keep it real. With Savage, I think respawns are their mode. I'm looking back at their last match, and they won that shit. 250 to 128 in map 1 and 250 to 175 in map 4 back when they played Mist. So I'm looking for that. I'm expecting Acrylic to try and make a turnaround here on this SND, but you know, even on that map 4, that could be a really difficult one if they get it there, just because of how dominant Savage was in that scenario last time out, pretty much. And you know, this roster seems like they're coming for heads pretty much, and they look amazing, to be honest. These are 2 solid, 2 above average rosters in my opinion, and they have a lot to play for here. And you know, Savage leaving it all out there, and Acrylic looking to make this turnaround here really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And Savage coming into this Mercado S&D, I think the one thing you have to highlight is that utility usage. We see it all the time coming in from both sides of the map, right? Everybody's timing out those nades, those frags, those tacks and stuns right off that opening break. And really, it's just who's ever going to land them better, who's been practicing where their throws are going to be. And it just is one thing you have to point out is being also to hang on to some of those tacticals, right? In those later rounds or later in that current round, you're able to maybe get that stun check. You don't know where necessarily the other players are sitting on the map if you don't have that information, and it really could be a game changer, not to mention to take a player off a defuse or taking a player who's trying to get that plant down. So tacticals are really going to be the name of the game here for the Mercado.
Yeah, absolutely, especially since obviously one of the points is an indoor one, and you know, just the tacticals, the nades, both of those things just come in so clutch in this type of scenario, in this type of map, and that could be absolutely massive for whichever team gets them off better, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, you know, it all comes down to that. In my opinion, I think both teams pretty even with the gunny, especially if Esco can step it up, and then you know, you obviously look for that turnaround
IGL. He's really got to be able to calm everybody down if he realizes a player isn't necessarily feeling as confident after that map 1. Hey, maybe try to bait out a kill or 2 for him. Make sure he's able to find that confidence here early in this second map. And for Savage Nation, I think you just keep doing what you're doing. They were rotating well at the second half of that game. They were making sure they were finding those kills, the aggression from Big Head, and not to mention Rep being that Overwatch. I think this is going to be a close search and destroy.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be neck and neck in my opinion. Again, both of these teams really have that ability, but Pierce gets dropped immediately, and Jest. So 2 star players from that last map are now down. But Sovereign does pick up the trade, but now it's up to him in a 1v3 scenario as Esco does get dropped. And Sovereign, he does see that little dolphin dive, but he lays in some shots. He does find one in the tunnel. He's getting out of there as fast as possible in that reload. And he's waiting for the push to come through here from Crazy. Not going to have him, the Glory. Shooting out some snipes. He's not finding yet. And Sovereign getting tagged up from that window. He's, again, just running for his life. Just trying to play his life pretty much here. 37 seconds. You know, you got some time here to burn. But you got to try moving quick. At least get 1 kill and then hunt for the next.
Yeah, and Sovereign, he knows that both of the players are split, so I think if he gets that dead silence, you might as well take the gunfight, but Crazy Views, he will decide to give him a little old-fashioned drop shot back to shades of MW3. It almost got interesting for the side of Acrylic. Sovereign trying to pull off that 1v3, and I think that player in the sniper in the back had that pistol, should have been able to get that trade if he was rotating through middle of the map, but great job from Savage Nation. They were kind of sticking buddy next to each other, and when that player went through the tunnel, he got team fired, so great first bloods coming out of Savage.
Yeah, just absolutely crucial, and that went a long way in helping them with that first round. They were just basically watching each other's back there, and that's absolutely massive pretty much for that squad. Oh man, was that the trophy got Piers? That's so unfortunate. That's rare. You never see that. So Piers already was low on health. Crazy does get the official first blood there, although I might argue you should give it to Sovereign. And Jess, now being the last alive, this is their SND star. They are looking for him to clutch up here. And he's just waiting. He does find one, planting the bomb. And now it's a 1v2. Now make it a 1v1. Him versus Rep. And, it's pretty much who's going to push first. Just throwing out a little nade and hitting that deady.
Yeah, and wow, Jess, what patience he had to peek out at the right moment as well. And I think if you're maybe Rep, you take this bomb and try to rotate it all the way out of this site because it's going to be so difficult. And I think he's trying to go up top and hunt this player down as the deady will subside. And maybe Jess is thinking that he's going back, but no, Rep. He will take that 1v1 once again. A tiny bit dicey for the side of Savage Nation in those 1v3 positions. They get it done with Rep as he will find that kill onto Jas, but hey, maybe giving a little bit of confidence to Acrylic saying, hey, we can still get this one done. Let's get it in at least a 2v3 and get those trades.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is they've been getting first blooded immediately, and they've been down in life counts consistently to start out these rounds. You need to turn that around quick. Obviously, Sovereign 3-2 and Jas 2-2. Those two guys alone are very solid. And Piers, we saw in that hardpoint, has the ability to slay. But another team kill comes through for Acrylic, and that is just hurting them more. Esco hitting his own teammate Piers with a nade. That's Piers' second death by his own team. And that is absolutely brutal. And now, again, Acrylic caught down in lives 3v4 scenario. Definitely manageable, especially since Jest and Sovereign are alive here, but not at all what you want.
Yeah, and you could see Big Head and Rep looking right over him. This was the exact setup they had for that first defensive round where I think it was Jess who decided to go out and challenge, maybe Puris, but they are still set up in that tunnel. The off angle is there, and Glory, he has out that sniper. He's just waiting for any head to peek out, and he will happen to see it. Didn't pull the trigger, as they will get that information. He's sitting in the back, and he peeks out, and unfortunately, you do not want to take that challenge. Glory, he's just going to decide to back up. He also has some help from one of his teammates in case. But look at number 2. Jazz might have found a route. I don't think number 7 knows, but the trade is there, and quickly once again into a 1v3, and this time it's a pretty squeaky clean round for the side of Savage Nation. But like you said, Acrylic, it's just been first bloods for them, and honestly not even first bloods, it's just been team kills.
Yeah, it's just been super unfortunate, both of those team kills taking place on Purez, and that is just absolutely brutal. Purez being one of their top slayers in that map 1, you really need that guy alive right now. And he's just been dropped twice by his own team, and that cannot be happening. Esco still 0-3, really hasn't been able to fix those map 1 woes, and is still suffering right now. And then you gotta look for that turnaround. This could get ugly, otherwise you don't want to be down 2-0 in that count to Savage Nation with this roster.
Yeah, especially with how it's looking, sitting down 3 rounds, and maybe they're trying to find a little bit of an angle, but the trades are immediately there, and finally it will be Acrylic to get that first blood, but short-lived is finally, oh my god, I thought Big Head ran out and knifed somebody. Nope, it looks like it was a few team shots, and you blink and you miss it. Savage Nation again. They are just steamrolling the side of Acrylic.
Yeah, I mean, this is just not a good look at all. Acrylic just not really been able to put anything together right now. I'm not sure if it's like, you know, jet lag or anything, but man, this is absolutely brutal. Obviously, some of these guys on both rosters are coming back from that LAN this past weekend, but that shouldn't be having that big of an impact as it has been a few days. So, man, you just got to look for this rebound here pretty much. Esco, again, still has not found a kill. 0-4. Meanwhile, everyone on Savage Nation is positive by at least 1 count. But 2 kills come through there for Pures with the nade, and that is absolutely huge. That's their first time really being up in live count, but Jast just ran right out in front of the man and did not even realize it. But he does get dropped there by Esco. Esco does find his first kill of the map, and now 3v1 favoring Acrylic. Glory needing to find this clutch here. He has the sniper. Always a little bit tough. He misses that shot. I'm not sure how exactly. He might have just gone right past that guy's arm. I thought that was lined up beautifully, but guess not. Glory just playing him a little bit here, but he does get dropped eventually. And Acrylic takes their first round, making it a 4-1, and they still have a long way to go.
Yeah, and we're like how they got those first 2 kills. It was off the tacticals in the rip, and they had them land perfectly. 2 players immediately drop, and I thought Big Head was maybe just kind of wide peeking that planter. I think he could have found a second kill and at least got it into a 2v2, and if he even went down into a 2v1, so maybe a little bit overconfident in taking some of these challenges, but the way that he is shooting, you can't blame him. And the one thing I want to point out for Acrylic, they really haven't taken over middle of the map like Savage Nation is doing, so it really just eliminates this entire side, and this is what's happening. Glory with this sniper, he's watching the cross, and they're finally changing it up. It just feels like Acrylic, they're getting caught with their pants down at the moment as they're trying to rotate quickly over, and it actually will be Puris puts himself in a phenomenal spot, so we'll happen to see if anybody will get picked, but it is Glory taking down Esco once again for the first blood.
Yeah, and I mean, oh my god, I was about to make a comment, but that is a quick 4 kills. Those final 3 just dropped like flies, just all of a sudden. I wasn't even able to comment it. It just happened. I don't even know what happened there. But yeah, Glory with the snipes just nails a Jest in about, I want to say that shoulder range, and that is just gonna drop him. And that makes it match point in favor of Savage Nation in a 5-1 fashion right now. And Acrylic need an absolutely epic turnaround. Not quite a reverse sweep here on round count, but damn near. Needing to win 5 straight here to take this map. And I mean, realistically, it's just not likely at all, especially with how good Savage Nation has been playing rep 7 and 2 right now. And that is an absolutely all-star performance, but I can't say it's necessarily unexpected. Rep being one of the best, what was one of the best U18 talents. I want to say he's entering the challenger scene if he isn't already in it. And that is just absolutely, you know, exciting to see. But Piers, watching this window, Rep kind of just peeking the top one. And this one is a much more slow-paced round. It feels, granted, I feel like these past rounds have been slow to start, and then they quickly ramp up. But Rep does see Piers, lays in a few shots. And Piers maybe trying to find him with the angle. Just going outside. I don't know if I'd advise that, but he will find one. Those are two down there. Piers did find that first blood, but he does get dropped. Both Piers and Jess get dropped simultaneously there. And now it's a 2v2, Esco and Sovereign needing to hold on to their team's hopes, pretty much basically just clutch up. And, you know, it's going to be really difficult here, especially now it's a 1v2 in Sovereign's, in Sovereign needing to get the clutch. Sovereign going out. Glory misses the snipe, and he's just bum rushing him with the pistol, has to reload. And he gets... Oh, I thought he got dropped, but no. He does get the kill, but does get dropped there. Savage Nation are going to take that map in a 6-1 fashion, an absolute rout over by Acrylic. And man, that's brutal. And just a 2-0 in favor of Savage Nation. And Acrylic looking for that turnaround and a reverse sweep here, because this match is so huge for their seeding in this major that you really, really can't go without at least taking one match.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to point out with Acrylic was the fact is that their offense and defense, it was bland, it was substandard. It just felt like they weren't comfortable on that map at all. They just kept running 4 stacks, nobody watching the middle of the map, nobody was kind of being that island player or even watching for a flank, so it just kind of seemed like every single thing that they threw at it, which was only one strategy, was 4 stack where you are going. It did not turn out well for them, so maybe not enough tricks left in the playbook. So that is, I think, a map they are going to have to be banning for quite some time, because you're going to need some new reps. You're going to take a look back at it and say, hey, we need something completely different. But like you said, maybe having that substitute player really kind of throws off how you are feeling you can run that map. But they need a bounce back here, and like you said, they need a map, and it's going to have to come off the Fortress control.
Yeah, this is absolutely crucial, and we'll be right back after this brief intermission. Not fault. So...
He's gonna pick up one.
We'll see. But if you're Savage, because of that, you get pushed out. You sacrifice that A side.
Blacksmith Kex proving why he is the one with the triple kill.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the league as we are looking at the side of Acrylic. They're really needing to bounce back here, and I mean, it's been the name of the game, Golden. They have not been able to get anything started. They are having to regain after that 3-2 loss to Vision, and right now, it's just not happening.
Yeah, absolutely not. And look, it was meant to be a match that secured them that top contender status and like that top 4 view. And man, they just have not brought that thunder here. While meanwhile, Savage Nation continuing that hot success versus this when they beat them in that 3-1 fashion. And honestly, this might be the roster that makes that run into a championship potentially possible. And you know what? It looks very likely that they even up that win-loss ratio in terms of match count. And they are just looking just very hot right now. Just flying right now, and I gotta say, with that SND, just going back to it, we were talking about that over the intermission a little bit, and what I think happened was, obviously, like you said, with the 4-stack, they made it too predictable. They just kept running the same exact thing, and that is not going to work, especially against a roster of the caliber of Rep and the boys. That is just too solid of a squad, and you have to change it up a little bit. And, you know, maybe it's the substitute, maybe it is that, but, man, it's just, that's just a very tough situation to see, and you hope going into this map 3, if you are a member of it, if you are a player, you just want to see Acrylic maybe potentially try getting this turnaround. Obviously, SND was their mode, and they got absolutely slammed in it, but looking forward to this control, they need this turnaround, and they need it quick, because right now they're down 2-0 in map count, and you don't want to be swept. Yes, they would secure a top 4 with a total win, which would mean a reverse sweep, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not expecting that here. A Savage looking very dominant here. You just gotta look to try and take at least 1 or 2 maps, because that will help you out in standings and potentially seeding as a tiebreaker. And you just gotta try getting that tiebreaker going your way, because, man, this has been a very rough going out of this Acrylic team in this match.
Especially with the Al-Baghr Fortress control coming up, right? It's such a defensive-heavy meta, which you just need to be able to steal an offense or at least get a few ticks on the board. If you've been watching any of the CDL matches, there really isn't not round 5s, because it is just strictly all defensive stands. Yeah, you need to have that one opening, and once you find it, you cannot give it up, because you just get put into that spawn trap over and over and over. And that's just going to be the biggest thing. Who's going to be able to break that cycle first and maybe steal an offense on the side of Acrylic? I don't think having that substitute in is not giving them the slave power that they need. And I do think that this Fortress, it's going to end in a 3-1. And unfortunately, I have to say that Savage is going to be able to close it out in a 3-0.
Look, I think it's completely and entirely possible, and honestly, I'm kind of in agreement with you. Right now, Acrylic, this just squad, doesn't seem like they're playing as, like, one unit. They're kind of just going off on their own, trying to get these kills. Like, yeah, they have some setup, they have, like, some idea, especially, like, with that SND, hey, you know, we're going to stack this. But the problem is, you know, once they do that, they kind of lost that strategy. Same thing with that map 1 hardpoint. They didn't really play setups besides Sovereign in, like, that little bush on that Fortress. He pretty much, outside of that, there was no real obvious strategy in it. And it was kind of just, hey, run around, get kills, try again on the point. And, you know, you can't have that. It's very possible that with this substitute and with the loss of DMAC right now, who is currently traveling, which is why he's not playing, it could be messing with that team chem. Who knows? But yeah, I think it also could end in a 3-0 here. Obviously, waiting on this map 3 to get underway, but yeah, just it's gonna be tough. Acrylic need to take it 1 map at a time, 1 round at a time, 1 kill at a time. But yeah, it's not looking likely for them here.
I think for Acrylic, the fact is they just feel too bland in almost everything that they're doing, and they need to be able to switch it up. But hey, we can take a look at the Major 1 standings. And by the way, I want to point out Glory, who is on now the side of Savage Nation. He was on the Empyreal roster, who's sitting at the top of the standings along with NOLA Flight. So a great pickup for the side of Savage Nation, being able to get that one down. And if Acrylic falls to 2-2, it could be difficult for them to maybe make a play on a second half surge. But Savage Nation, right now, they're just on a completely another level. Acrylic, everything that they're doing, it feels bland, it feels basic. They need to start getting, I think, a tiny bit rattier in some of these situations and allow the side of Savage Nation to make the mistake.
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta play a good defense here and wait on the other opponent to, like you said, to make that mistake first. Because right now, it doesn't feel like Acrylic has been able to really push the tempo at all. You gotta wait for Savage to basically play themselves into a bad situation that benefits you, and then take advantage of that. I mean, look, Fortress, very mixy map, and, you know, like you said, very defense-oriented. So, who knows how this is going to go, but this should be a fun map 3, and Acrylic looking to extend this at least 1 more map, and try and get the first one.
This opening break could mean everything to both of these two teams. I think more in particular, it's Acrylic just to gain that confidence and maybe give yourself a shot in this series. And it's going to be the point, you got to point out, this is where your mental fortitude has to come into play. You have to make sure you're cool, calm, and collected, making the right decisions, as already is 3 members from the side of Savage Nation who are dropping rep, the last player alive. So already a great start for Acrylic, and if they can get some more progression on this A site or get that cap in, it will make this map that much easier.
Yeah, just get this one tick down and then go from there pretty much. But the kills are going through for Acrylic. 27-24 live count in their favor right now. And they do have a player on that point in Sovereign. And I gotta say, this team does have that mental fortitude that you're talking about, especially with Sovereign. Sovereign, for being so young, the kid plays like he's an adult and plays like someone in challengers with the way he just is able to hold on and like mentally pretty much, no matter what the situation is. And that's been heard around the community pretty much regarding him. But man, you know, the kills just kind of being traded in and out now after what was a hot start. Oh my god! 4 kills go in the way of Acrylic. They're just Empyreal, just getting those nice ones. And now on this B side, they have 3 people on it now to make it 2. Now just Sovereign, but he's playing right behind this little Hangman's Noose and just chilling. But he does get dropped there eventually. But he did get 1 tick down before he died, which is absolutely huge. 1:45 left in this map, and Acrylic having a nice 6 live count in their favor.
Yeah, and now this is where everything's going to start to slow down. Kind of wait for those picks. Savage Nation, they're fully set up. And if number 7, Big Head, can find 1 or 2 of these kills, he can definitely put the pressure back onto Acrylic to get out of their spawn, allow his teammates to push up farther in this map. But the trades are consistently coming through. And I want to point out, Esco, he had a great start as he's now sitting at 5 and 3. Oh, look at a snap onto another as he will get tagged up, so decides to back on down, but the rest of his teammates, they're doing the work, and honestly, they don't even necessarily need to get the cap. They're actually getting all the kills.
Yeah, and Esco tagging him up behind that little wooden area right there, but he does not get the kill. Getting tagged up himself. Might see him, but no, he does get dropped there by, I want to say that was a Big Head. And right now, Big Head looking to get this kill yet again. Piers does get dropped. And Big Head running for his life right now at 38 HP, just trying to play that one. Currently 3 life counts separating, 4, make it 4. Sovereign getting the nice kill. But man, the trades are coming through now. Savage have made what was a 6 count differential now only into 1, and now make it 0. Crazy on a 5 spree, and he is stepping on the gas and refusing to let off.
Yeah, and right now the lives advantage goes back over to Savage. They've really started to slow things down in Acrylic. They are getting spawn trapped, and now you only have 3 lives remaining, but we're talking about they needed a hot start. They got at least that A tick and 1 B tick of progression, so great start for them, as it will be a 2v5 with a few seconds left. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody's gonna have enough time to hop back onto that point.
Yeah, and that will do it for that first round there. But again, Acrylic had that hot start. They just weren't able to hold on to it pretty much. You know, having that live count, I want to say at one point it was 7 lives in their favor. And they pretty much just, you know, took their foot off the gas. And it just rolled to that slow stop. And that is absolutely brutal for them there. And, you know, you got to look for that rebound. Sovereign, 3 and 8 right now. You know, first 2 maps he was looking solid. Right now, he needs to pick it back up. I was talking about that mental fortitude, but right now, you know, it kind of seems like maybe that's, you know, hanging in the balance a little bit here. And Esco does get dropped there. And I want to say that was Rep that got that kill. And yeah, just the kill star now going Savage Nation's way. It looks like they're focused here on this B. Rep tagging him up a little bit. Sovereign does get dropped there eventually. And just Acrylic yet to get a kill. Currently down 3, not by much, but it is not great either. But those 3 kills get evened out pretty much immediately. And the Big Head, though, answering right back, and the trades are just coming through. Just blow for blow, punch for punch here. And Sovereign now being the guy to hold on to this A, just trying to defend it pretty much. He holds Savage Nation off.
Again, number 7, Big Head found the opening. I believe it was the kill onto Jess, who was trying to work his way into bottom map. So a great kill, and then another great angle coming in from Crazy Views as they've already worked themselves onto this A site. Like Acrylic, they are up in the lives here early, and honestly, it was all down to Rep kind of playing it patient. He ended up finding 2 kills, and now Big Head also finding a few behind his weapon as well. And now he's going to start to be a menace here in the bottom side cannons, and if he can find 1 or 2 more, this could be scary for the side of Acrylic, because the A site is going by so quickly. 1 player who's in position will be Jast. He will get tagged up from the other side, And now Savage, they only need one more point, and their Big Head, he will strike as he will end up going down. Jest, the Lone Ranger here at the gallows. Can he hold off this push from Savage?
You know, it's possible. He is trying to just basically get these kills. Pure's also helping him out a little bit, getting that kill on Glory. But you know what? 5 live count differential. You need to get these kills. You need to be hunting here. But Crazy getting some of those crucial ones as well. And man, you know, it feels like whenever Acrylic feels like they have an answer, they just get punched right back, and they just haven't really been able to stay consistent or stay hot here on this map. And the kills are yet again going back in the way of Savage. Rep getting some nice ones on a 2 streak right now, and he's throwing out the little nade there, holding this gallows right back here. And I mean, 9 and make it 10 life count differential. It looks like this is going to be 2 rounds to none going in the favor of Savage. And Pure's just trying to hold on, and it's not looking good at all. Acrylic are going to be down 2 rounds to none unless there is a god tier attack. But no, that won't be happening, and Savage do take that round.
Unfortunately for the side of Acrylic, I think what's really nipping them in the heel is the fact they have no map positioning. It always feels like when 3 players of Savage go down, they will still have a player that's pushed farther up to at least relieve some pressure coming off the spawn, and he can turn around and shoot some of the players of Acrylic in the back. I think Sovereign was really the only guy trying to get past that 50-yard line and maybe cut off any type of reinforcements from Savage to come on in, just to allow his team some breathing room. But he's sitting at 6-14. I know you were highlighting him. Unfortunately, just having a little bit of a rough go here on the map 3, and right off the rip, it is a hot defensive start for Savage Nation. Rep, he is not missing many, and he finds another player in the backside. That's Puries, and he is coming out swinging.
I mean, man, just Rep on what was on a 6 streak. He does have that cruise now, and man, he just, like you said, he came out swinging. And right now, 4 life count differential. Acrylic just holding on to this A side here. But man, the kills are coming through, thankfully, for that side. They are trying to get this, but it is being contested here by Big Head. Esco, though, does find Glory, and Pure's does find Big Head. So to make that life count equal right now, 24 apiece. But man, Sovereign still 9-15. He is stepping it up a little bit, though. And now this A side could be going their way. The kills are coming through. Jest and Sovereign being the 2 playmakers here on this round right now. Sovereign on a 4 streak, and that is absolutely massive. Pure's also finding some kills. They know that this round is extremely important, and they are refusing to make this one easy for Savage. But oh my god, 3 kills do go in the way of Savage now. And then, like I said earlier, it feels like every time Acrylic punches, it feels like Savage Nation punches back, and then Acrylic just does not answer here right now. But Big Head did run out of that ammo. And Esco and Sovereign are getting those crucial kills, but now you gotta be looking to get this play on B here. Sovereign is gonna be the first player on, trying to get this first takedown. And it's a long way to go. He's gonna be here all by himself for at least a little bit while he waits for his team to spawn and get over here to help him out. That will be 1 tick down as him and Cruz are on the point. But Sovereign does get dropped there, and Rep does find Jess, so that is 3 down for Acrylic. And they, again, not finding many answers. It has been a rough going today.
Yeah, and the one thing Savage Nation has been doing extremely well is their shoulder checks. They're getting all the information before they go out and try to take a challenge, which I think kind of Acrylic is going in a tiny bit blind. They're just trying to shoot the gap when they find that opening. Sometimes that's not necessarily the case. You need to play it patient. Like I said, they need to start playing a tiny bit more ready, because they're just walking right into the sight lines of Savage Nation and Glory. He will find 3, and that should be the nail in the coffin. No respawns remaining, and to add insult to injury, Rep, he's gonna lay down the law with the glide. 2 lives remaining, and this one should all be over. But Glory, he just absolutely gave Acrylic the middle finger.
Yeah, I mean, he really did just flip him off. Basically say, hey, look, we run this show right now. Y'all aren't stopping us. We know that. It's up to Jazz now, and a 1v7 situation, and Reps is coming through with the knife. The disrespect, and that will seal it. Savage Nation take a 3-0 round 1 and a 3-0 series win in what was a clean sweep. I gotta say, both of these matches today, the Empyreal versus NOLA and the Acrylic versus Savage, no one expected either one of these sweeps, and yet both were. And man, Savage Nation look like legit contenders right now. And it looks like, I want to say Esco had left the lobby a little bit early, which honestly, pretty cringe. I'm not gonna lie. Esco, come on, bro. Just don't be ashamed of the stats. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, that's always a disappointment. Look, being completely honest, that just sucks to see. I'm the owner, obviously, but man, as a fan, you hope for a better matchup than that. And it really just felt like Acrylic had no answers for what Savage Nation brought today. Like you said, they came out dry pretty much, and they really had nothing going for them. They just came out bland, and they found no answers. And even in that control, they really had nothing going for them. And I mean, look, we're gonna jump to an interview in just a moment, but we'll be right back after this intermission.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream as we have a special guest with us. It is one of the top players on the Savage Nation. We have Rep as he is feeling good after that win. Rep, what are you feeling right now after that series win? And honestly, what are some takeaways you had from the team?
I'm feeling great, man. We haven't really played a lot of S&D, so we didn't really know what to expect. And to come in there and slam, that felt real good. Really, we're just trying to work on making sure our record gets good here in this league. I know we're what are we, 1-3?
1-2.
1-2. All right. Well, now it's 2-2, baby. That's 2-2. So we're improving. We're just getting hyped. We're just having a good time.
You know what, man? That's awesome to hear, bro. You played absolutely amazing. You were saying earlier, you played like a demon, bro, and right now you are looking like a demon in that red light. And I gotta ask, so obviously, Acrylic being my squad, what did you think after that map one? Were you like, oh man, you know, this roster, you know, we're gonna count them out here? Or did you have like that thought in your mind where you're like, we gotta stay on the gas here, we gotta just, you know, keep on pushing here? Because obviously that map one was pretty dominant, and you just kept that train rolling, but I gotta ask what happened in between.
Well, we were kind of trolling at the start of the hardpoint. And then we realized we needed to lock in a little bit. We locked in, and after we locked in, we knew it was kind of over. We went a little trolly at the start of the control. We were literally singing songs, having a grand old time, and we got pretty checked immediately. So that was good because they played their offenses very well. Got to tip it. But overall, I mean, we felt pretty confident. We knew exactly that what would happen. We expected a 3-0, and we got a 3-0.
All right, new question. Who's the best singer on your team?
Dude. Me? What? Yo, me. I'm winning that.
You? Okay.
The best dog barker? That's glorious.
Oh man, that's great. But yeah, I mean, you guys played absolutely lights out. Graph, what is your question for the man? Obviously, try getting through this.
I think, like you said, coming on in, being the new roster for Savage Nation, you guys just got back-to-back wins. I mean, do you have any message for the other team in the AWL?
I don't think I have to say anything. I mean, they can look at the results, they can look at the roster, they know it's coming. Just lock in, and let's have fun.
Hey, I love it, man. I love it, especially the energy that you're bringing, having a great time, singing the songs in the Map 3, even though it got a little dicey. Yeah. But hey, Rep, I appreciate you coming on in and having this interview with us, and have a good rest of the night.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you.
Have a good one, dog. Peace out, bro.
But there, we had the man Reps himself, having him a great series, especially for the side of Savage Nation. They closed it out in a 3-0. But Golden, what do you think the side of Acrylic's got to work on to maybe find themselves in at least a decent spot to make the playoffs?
Well, on the bright side, every team, at least in Major 1, makes the Major. But, I mean, look, you got to be better than that to make a deep run. And truthfully, what I got to look for is a massive step up from Esco. Esco did not play well whatsoever today, especially in those first 2 maps. He did step up in that control. I gotta give him credit there. But I'm looking, not only as like the owner, but as like a fan and as a caster, you gotta look for that man to step up in the future matches. He was looking solid early on in the season, but you know, today he took a little bit of a step back. Could be jet lag, could be you know, just a little bit of tiredness from that travel. But yeah, you gotta look for that turnaround coming up. And obviously, I think DMAC being missing, it did play a massive role in this. I think there's a chance he is the IGL for this squad, and if he losing a starter plays a massive impact on how you're gonna approach the match. So, I mean, truthfully, that could have had a massive impact. You just basically gotta look and say, hey, we played a bad map, we played a bad match, and we know that we have to turn it around. I know I'm going to go to Twitter and see a bunch of DMs from the guys about what they have to fix, because they are just like that in the group chat. And, I mean, you know, it sucks to see, but I know the boys can make a turnaround here. And, you know, just a rough showing, but I think they're capable of making a deep run here, and we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, they definitely needed to change some things around and hopefully get that starter back on the roster in DMAC. But for the side of Savage Nation, jumping from the 10th overall to the 4th overall, so a great rebound. 2 series back-to-back for them to get themselves at even. So that is what you're looking for on that side. But everybody, I appreciate you tuning on into the stream of the AWL. My name is Graph the Draft, also here with Golden, signing off for now.
Peace out.
He's gonna pick up one.
We'll see. But if you're Savage, because of that, you get pushed out. You sacrifice that ace side.
Blacksmith catch proving why he is the one with a triple kill.
Foot race is on. Towards kitchen we go as Katani here snaking like Cell.
Absolutely dominate Battalion, as not only are they above in points, but the KD ratio.
Element, they have come to play in the grand finals because NOLA Flight, you are already cut off by Mirage. You have one more shot at this hill, but you are cut down by Teskey. Look at the snipe that a prop. He's not just Mirage with the sniper. Maybe we'll get something nice. There it is. Able to clip one. It's going to